Welcome to the Online Success Journey Podcast, your opportunity to discover and learn from entrepreneurs like yourself. This is not your typical podcast, but a place where you can get the real story and find out how real people encounter speed bumps and detours, but journey through to find success. Now here's your host for the Online Success Journey Podcast, Patience.
Hello everyone and welcome to Online Success Journey. This is episode 219. Are you ready to join the clan? Today we have Jeff Schechter, CEO and co-founder of the High Return Real Estate Guys. Started his first business right out of college and over the years have developed sales and marketing strategies that have worked well across many industries. Hello Jeff.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm okay. I know the clan is anxious to hear your story, so let's get started with the basics. Can you tell my clan a little bit about your background, what you did before you went online?
Well, I'm basically a born entrepreneur. When my parents asked me what I wanted to be when I grow up, I said rich, and I did not do real well at school. I wasn't really focused, didn't apply myself, and I just really always had an interest in business and entrepreneurship. So I've had a number of different companies. Some have been successful. Some have been very, very unsuccessful. But it's taught me to be very, very scrappy. And in terms of real estate, back in the 80s, before the term was even well known, I did a lot of house hacking. So I'd live in a house and fix it up and live in it for a couple of years and live through the construction zone and then sell it. And I was able to make money doing that and live for free. And, that was some of the early interest in real estate stuff. But I've always been interested in having my own business.
What is the most dangerous belief an entrepreneur can have?
That's a good question. I think that it's understanding that they can't do what they can do. In other words, limiting beliefs, I think, are the worst thing to say, oh, this is going to be too hard, or this is going to be too difficult, or I can't do it. Because when you do that, you really limit your ability to accomplish.
Why do you do what you do?
Well, we got into the real estate business kind of almost by accident. I was actually consulting Jack, my business partner. He has another company in the nutrition business. And I had a background in digital marketing, and he reached out to me one day and said, hey, I've been buying some properties in Indianapolis and getting some really good returns. And the people that I've been buying from, I've been referring others, and they're paying me some finder's fees and things like that. And I think there's a real business there. So I reached out to him and basically said, okay, let's just schedule a call and we'll figure this out. And that was kind of the early seeds of this business. So eventually he just said, let's just do this. And I go, well, let's do what? He goes, well, you gave me all these ideas. I don't want to do this myself. Let's do this. So I agreed. And the reason that I agreed, even though I was moving halfway across the country to do this, is because it satisfied some things that I knew that I wanted in my next business. So a few weeks prior to that call, I had written on my little whiteboard in my office, these are 4 or 5 things I want in my next opportunity. I want to sell a high ticket item. I want to make, big markup on one sale. I don't want to sell, a $100 information product. I want to be the best in my space. And I also, by the way, I don't want to work alone. I want a really solid business partner. So when he reached out to me and we looked through all this, it really checked off all the boxes. After getting in this business, and it's been a very difficult business. There's a lot of moving parts. There are still some really amazing rewards because we help a lot of people to have a better life. We help them with, much better retirement, much better options than what they could get just through mainstream avenues. And we're really having a pretty positive effect on major cities in terms of quality of life that the renters get in our properties and just the look and feel of the streets where we're doing rehabs and things like that. So as difficult it is, there's so much positive that comes out of it in terms of people and communities that's really what keeps me going.
Let's put man aside. How do you know you are successful?
It's a great question. I think that success, people need to understand that their version of success is theirs. It's not to be determined by anyone else. In my mind, like for myself, my definition of success has got a few things in it, and it's not really all about money. I mean, obviously, we all want to be financially independent, and that means different things to different people. But in my mind, having enough money to not have to worry about decisions and trips and fun things that you want to do and all that kind of stuff, that there has to be enough money and enough cash flow coming in to do that. But there are other pieces to success that I think are important. Successful relationships, good health, positive attitude, making your mark on the world. These, in my mind, are all elements of success. And I think too many people define it just in terms of cash. And I think that's the wrong way to go about it. Quality of life is everything.
Can anyone be an entrepreneur, or are some people more cut out for it than others?
I think different people have different tolerances for risk. And so I think anyone can be an entrepreneur. I think that there's a lot of people that talk them out of it. So, when you have the same job and you go to a job every day and you punch a time clock, you get a certain amount of money and come home and watch TV, whatever. It's a very sort of a structured life. There's a certain comfort and safety in that I understand. Almost, I'll use the word security, even though I don't believe that there's much job security anymore, especially as technology keeps happening. So some people are going to be forced into being entrepreneurs, whether they like it or not. Other people have more secure jobs. But I think you have to assess yourself for your own risk aversion and say, hey, how do I really want to spend my time? What kind of mark can I make on the world? And there's no question that if you want to be an entrepreneur and you want to learn, there's lots of people to learn from. So it's really just a matter of desire. If you don't have the desire, then it's never going to happen.
What have you learned from business as a whole?
Well, I think ethics is everything. I think in business, you can do what's necessary or you can do the right thing. And oftentimes, those are two different things. And what I've learned is that when you do the right thing every time, it's always going to come back to you. It's karma. And that usually equates into, better customers, better relationships, better deals. All that energy, that good energy that you put out in the world comes back to you.
When is it the best time to invest in real estate?
That's a very common question that I get asked. I'm sorry to be laughing. The funny answer is that it always comes down to two words, and that's it depends. So it depends on what side of the equation that you're on. Real estate investing can happen in many, many different ways. Some people want to flip properties. Some people want to buy and hold properties. Some people want to own land and hold on to it. Some people want to, arbitrage short-term rentals. Like there's some people want to buy notes. There's so many different ways to do real estate investing. And so it depends on what side of the market you're on. It could be argued right now that we are in an inflationary period and we don't know how much longer it's going to last. There are some markets that are very, very expensive. And if you're playing a buy and hold and you're counting on appreciation, let's say, as part of your strategy, then maybe now is not a good time to invest in more expensive markets because we don't know how much more appreciation we're going to have before the next correction. If you're buying for, say, looking for a good deal and you're buying for a situation where you want to have a renter in there and have just good, positive cash flow and passive income, then in certain markets, now is a very, very good time to invest. So the answer is it just depends on what your strategy is.
What is it that gets you excited, that gets you out of bed in the morning and get ready to tackle the world?
Well, I think I touched on it before, but I mean, I love making a mark on the world. Like I try very hard to lead by example. So, I want to go be the healthiest version that I can be. So I enjoy taking care of myself and working out. And relationships are super important to me. Friends, relatives. I mean, that's really the stuff of life. And I really get jazzed out of just doing business. I mean, sometimes days are really, really challenging, but I have learned to embrace that and love a good challenge and look at my day as really, kind of going out and conquering the world, because as I do, I know I'm improving the lives of many people around me.
What is one thing that has contributed to your success?
Two things, really. I know you said it was only one, but I'm going to answer with two.
Yes.
One is my relationship. So I've been able to cultivate some really, really amazing relationships with other entrepreneurs. And I think it's really, really important, like who you associate with. So that's been one of them. And the other one is just the stuff that you put in your brain. So I haven't watched television or taken any kind of news channel or anything like that in 20 years because I just find it to be too negative and it just poisons my mind. So I try to put good things in my mind. I read personal development books and go to seminars and things like that. So those are the things that I think has really made the difference for me.
What is one thing no one knows about you?
Secretly, I'm a rock star. So
Really?
yeah, so I love music and I'm been blessed with a good ear and I can't read any notes, but I play guitar, I play piano, I play drums. I mean, just about anything I can pick up and figure out how to play a tune out of it.
Wow. Do you do like a small gig?
I don't do too many paid gigs, but
Yeah.
I have people that I play with, and I'm actually redoing an old house right now in Indianapolis and setting aside a special music room so my friends can come over and jam with me.
What grounds you?
Yoga. I'm usually in the yoga studio almost every day, and just taking time out to get out of my head and get into my body is really, really helpful for me because I got a million things going on.
How has digital marketing changed the landscape of business ownership?
Oh, it's huge. I mean, that is, as I told you earlier, I mean, I have a background in digital marketing, and the reason that I started studying it was because I saw just such a huge opportunity. I mean, with the internet being everywhere, you have the ability as a business owner to play on a field the same way as big corporations do. Sometimes often better because you have more mobility and you're able to pivot faster. But with the right information out there online, you can attract any of the right kinds of customers that you need to operate your business. It's not like the old days where you had to pound the pavement and had to have a yellow pages ad and, had to, blast things on the radio in the hopes that, 1% of your audience maybe hears what you have to say and writes down your 800 number. No, now digital marketing has created a situation where you can put information in front of people that is highly targeted directly to your exact customer. So it's a fantastic opportunity, and the technology keeps improving, and that technology keeps getting smarter so that we can continue to dial in our message and get even more accurate in our marketing.
Do you ever have a mentor or a coach in your businesses?
I've had people that mentor me. I don't currently have a coach. It's funny that you ask that because my radar has kind of been up lately in terms of getting back into that. I have a fantastic business partner, and we talk almost every day, and we certainly give each other a lot of coaching, and that's been very, very helpful. But I do some coaching of other people, so I'm very well aware of the benefits of it.
What is the most valuable thing your business partner has told you?
Oh God, I don't even know how to answer that question, Patience. I mean, there's been so many good little nuggets that have come along. I guess the best thing about that relationship is that we have the ability to talk and not judge each other. It's like a really good marriage in a way, in that we just accept each other for who we are and what our strengths are, but we have this great ability to communicate well with each other and talk things through. So, if we want to tackle a problem or an issue, or one of us is struggling with something, we just get on the phone and we just talk. I mean, okay, let's just talk it out. Let's just brainstorm. Let's just get everything out on the table. And then once everything is out on the table, we can then dissect what we've talked about and pick the best possible answer. And then once we have that answer, we go, okay, we're a united front. Let's move forward. This is what we're doing. Good. Let's go.
Tell us how to maintain a mindset of a young man, and how can you start a business of multimillionaire dollars before you reach your 60th birthday? Isn't it that too old, 60th birthday?
Well, I don't think so. I mean, some people might think so. I mean, I'm now in my early 60s, and I don't feel it. I mean, I've taken pretty good care of myself, and most how I do it is I tend to hang out with people that are younger than me, or people that don't have, the old age mindset, other than my mom. I love hanging out with my mom. And I think that, you just there's just so much more that I want to do while I'm on this planet. There's so many things I want to do for others. There's so many, honestly, on a selfish standpoint, there's many things I still want to do and experience for myself. And if I were in the same mindset as most people my age, that would just not be possible. So thankfully, I've been very involved in personal development most of my life, and have learned that, it's really up to you. It's what you decide. It's whatever your perspective you're going to choose. So I just choose to have this perspective that, hey, we're just getting started and we have lots to do. And that seems to work really, really well for me.
What is the most valuable thing you have ever given away?
Probably cash. I mean, in terms of donations and charity and things like that. There have been other times where I feel like, because of some of the stuff that I have been through and some of the business stuff that I've been through, I know that there are people out there that feel that I have given them some very, very valuable advice, that they came back to me and said, hey, look, this was life-changing. I only mention it because they took what I said and actually applied it. There's lots of things that you can give away that aren't received correctly. I mean, you can give charitable donations that are squandered too. You can give away advice that people just go, oh, that's just a bunch of BS. But it depends on who the receiver is.
Tell us about your business.
Well, we have a really, really, it seems simple to investors. So we basically have a service where we do all the heavy lifting for investors. So for investors that want to own a nice, in fantastic condition, rental property that cash flows for them, that's what we do. So we go out in the less expensive markets like Indianapolis, where we're based, and we buy some of the more distressed properties because that's where we can get some really good deals. We go through an extremely thorough rehab process where we redo the property and go through every system in that property. We bring in a third-party inspector to check our work. We work with an amazing nationally based high-tech property management team to get these properties rented and performing. And then they are sold to waiting investors as performing assets. And typically our investors live in areas that are more expensive than, say, where we live. So, for example, if you lived in California and a little 3-bedroom, 2-bath house in a lower middle class neighborhood there is $900,000. In Indianapolis, it's $60,000. And so the prices and the price to rent ratios are extremely favorable for investors. And our clients are typically people that are very busy. They have very busy day jobs. They're professionals. They're not looking to be full-time real estate investors. They're just looking to reap the cash flow and the tax benefits of investing.
What advice would you give someone who wants to move into your type of business you are in?
Don't do it. If I had to do it, Jack and I joke a lot. If I had to do it all over again, I'm not sure I would necessarily choose this business because we see problems every day, and there's surprises that come up on rehabs, and it's a lot of moving parts working with contractors and things like that. So I think if you know this business well and you understand construction and you understand investing, then sure, it can be a good business to be in, but just be prepared for a very, very difficult startup period. At least 2 or 3 years till you get a book of customers and get all your systems dialed in. But the best advice I would give people for any business is, if you're going to be successful, you want to spend your days doing things that you like and or what you're good at. So, some people are more introverted, some people are more extroverted. You have to look at what your task list is going to be in operating any business and say, hey, does this fit with my personality and my strengths and weaknesses?
Where can we find you and how can we connect with you?
Well, it's real simple. Our company is called High Return Real Estate. You just put a .com on the end of that, highreturnrealestate.com, and you'll find us and everything we're doing in our properties. And we also have a podcast specific to investors to teach investors all these cool strategies. And same branding. That show is called the High Return Real Estate Show. And I do that with Jack, and we're on all the major podcast channels.
So, Clan, there will be more from Jeff in a moment. If you are listening on one of the many podcasting platforms rather than my website and you are encouraged by Jeff's journey, go to onlinesuccessjourney.com for a bonus portion of the interview. The Online Success Journey is a wonderful membership community built for people searching for the path to success. We are one big clan and you can be part of this community for free. Once you have joined the clan, click on part of Jeff's journey or over 200 plus other journeys that are available and learn how you can find the right path for your own online success journey. That's a wrap, clan. Remember, success is a journey. Patience and Jeff.
This is not the end of the journey. We hope you've enjoyed listening to part 1 and want to be sure you know there is a second part to this and every journey podcast at onlinesuccessjourney.com, filled with even more success tips, uplifting stories, and even a bit of fun. There are dozens of episodes only available to the members of the Online Success Journey clan. Check out the website and click on Join the Clan for more information. Patience would like to thank you for listening to this podcast, and she has a free audio gift for you at her website. Go to onlinesuccessjourney.com for instant access to this gift. Of course, you know that listening to the journeys of others helps each of us chart our own path. So make sure you're subscribed to be notified as each new interview is posted. There are so many ways to stay connected to the Online Success Journey and to listen in. And if you're enjoying the podcast, we appreciate your help in telling others. One of the best ways to share the benefit you get is to rate and review it at Stitcher and other sites by clicking the stars or completing the ratings form, by clicking thumbs up and leaving a comment on YouTube, or liking and sharing the podcast on social media. To review the podcast within iTunes, simply open iTunes to the podcast, click on Ratings and Reviews, then write a review. On behalf of Patience, and until next time, thanks once more for listening. It is our hope that this podcast will guide you on your own online success journey.